Good afternoon, everyone. Well, or should I say good evening, depending on where you are. So this morning, if you missed the study meet this morning, these two diagnoses that you see that are placed in front of me when we work through this, antisocial personality disorder versus the conduct disorder. We had a very good conversation differentiating between the two of these disorders this morning on the study meet. We also talked about bipolar 1, bipolar 2, bulimia nervosa, as well as anorexia nervosa, and how to tell the difference when you see these in questions when it comes to your mock exams that you're doing or when it comes to the real exam. I told everybody this morning, you do not believe me that it's true. These questions are all answered the exact same type of way. Do not stray the course. Stay on the course when it comes to answering these questions, because I am going to show everybody else who was not on the meet this morning what to look for when it comes to finding the correct answer for these two diagnoses that sometimes can overlap with each other. Alrighty, so we are going to do questions only, and I am going to talk my way through explaining the difference between ASPD and CD. So let's get started with the first one. Now, this first one, 32-year-old male, long history of physical altercations, manipulations, personal gain, repeated job terminations, disregard for safety of others. Huge specifiers for antisocial personality disorder. So without even getting close to the end, you know, they're talking about antisocial personality disorder. Just from those specifiers that was named, right? He expresses no remorse. He believes that others are weak when it comes to the way that he treats them if they just can't stand up, for themselves or whatever. His first arrest occurred at the age of 14, and he was expelled from school multiple times. So with this information that we have, what do we think is the most critical to support a diagnosis of antisocial personality disorder? So let's dive deep into the antisocial personality disorder and the conduct disorder. So for conduct disorder, you will need to start displaying these behaviors before the age of 15 for conduct disorder in order to be diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder once you are over the age of 19. So if we take a look at this number right here, this age right here, it says 14, right? So that tells me that possibly he was diagnosed with conduct disorder because it's the age before 15. But then when we look here at the age here, he's an adult now, full adult, 32 years old. After the age of 18, if you were diagnosed with a conduct disorder before the age of 15, you would automatically diagnose that person with antisocial personality disorder. So the question says, which of the following is most critical to support a diagnosis of antisocial personality disorder? It is going to be the presence of conduct disorder symptoms before the age of 15, which is what we see here because we got the age number 14, right? Now, B, C, and D are what? They're just criteria for it, right? But the most critical component to diagnose anyone with antisocial personality disorder, it's always going to be the presence of conduct disorder symptoms before the age of 15. Any vignette that you see that has this, look at the ages specifically. Do not ignore the ages. Alrighty, so let's do this one. We have a 16-year-old male referred by his school caught stealing, setting fire to a locker, threatening a teacher. He's been lying, sneaking out the house, physical fights with siblings. He shows little remorse and blames others for his behaviors. Which diagnosis is more appropriate at this time? So let's take a look at this. He's 16 years old. Can he be diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder? No, he cannot. Because to be diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder, you must be over the age of 18. It must say something about the age of 18, and it has to be included in there, right? B says conduct disorder, adolescent onset type. Okay, let's go back and look at that. C says oppositional defiant disorder. Here's the thing. If you were not on the meet this morning, I had to make it very plain and very clear. When it comes to oppositional defiant disorder, it is very mild compared to the other disorders that you see in the DSM-5 regarding behaviors. Oppositional defiant disorder, yes, they blame others for their behaviors, but this vignette also says he shows little remorse and he's sneaking out of the house and he's fighting his siblings. Those are not symptoms of oppositional defiant disorder. So you would automatically get rid of oppositional defiant disorder. D says intermittent explosive disorder. If you see a response that says intermittent explosive disorder, you need to have something in that vignette that says something that is severe and physical aggression. That is not listed in this vignette. You get rid of it. So let's go back to B. Conduct disorder, adolescent onset type is the correct answer, and I will tell you why. You can't diagnose anybody with antisocial personality disorder at the age of 16, so A is automatically out. Conduct disorder, adolescent onset type means that there were no symptoms or behavior for conduct disorder before the age of 10. It started at the age of 16. And I will go through again another subtype for conduct disorder more down the line. But as you can see, there's a pattern to these questions. They're all answered the same way across the board. Let's do the next one. You are assessing a 19-year-old male. Juvenile record, assault, breaking into cars, shows no remorse. Oh, that no remorse is always going to be there. Lies habitually. Ooh, he's a big liar. Expelled for starting a fire, and I guess they must like starting fires too. His record shows that he was diagnosed with a conduct order at the age of 13. So as of right now, what is the most accurate diagnosis at this time? The most accurate diagnosis at this time is going to be what? Antisocial personality disorder. He's 19 years old. He meets the criteria because he was diagnosed with conduct disorder at the age of 13. When you look at A, conduct disorder with limited prosocial emotions, that's not a diagnosis, automatically out. Oppositional defiant disorder keeps popping up, but you know that oppositional defiant disorder, mild symptoms and behaviors compared to the other behaviors, disorders in the DSM-5. D says conduct disorder, childhood onset. That is the other subtype. So childhood onset means that they had conduct disorder symptoms before the age of 10. Adolescent onset type means that they had no symptoms or behaviors or conduct disorder before the age of 10. Childhood means they did. And if you take a look at this question, again, same pattern, again, 19 years old, antisocial personality disorder, diagnosed with a conduct disorder at the age of 13 because before the age of 15, he was exhibiting symptoms of conduct disorder. Let's do this next one. A 14-year-old male has documented history of fighting, animal cruelty, property destruction, beginning at the age of 9. According to the DSM-5, how should this case be classified? Now, these are your subtypes. Again, I just got finished saying childhood before the age of 10. Adolescent, no symptoms before the age of 10. So A says conduct disorder, adolescent onset type. Nope. Can't do it. Right? Can't do it. Because he's exhibiting symptoms before the age of 10. If we look at C, there it is again. That oppositional defiant disorder keeps coming back. I'm going to say it again. Very mild compared to those two disorders that we've been talking about. Disruptive mood dysregulation disorder. If you are choosing a response for disruptive mood dysregulation disorder, that vignette better say something about an angry outburst and being irritable most of the days. Automatically out because you do not see any of those symptoms written in this question that they have. This correct answer is B, conduct disorder, childhood onset type, because he started exhibiting symptoms of conduct disorder before the age of 10. That's why this age is right here. Now, if this vignette would have said, just like the other one, a 16-year-old male, it would have been adolescent, because he did not start exhibiting symptoms before the age of 10 for it to be adolescent onset type. I'm hoping that this is making sense. I know I told everybody this morning, like, these questions are answered the same way. Stay the course. Do not stray from the course. This next one, a 19-year-old male client presents an intake court diversion program. His history include arson, animal cruelty, aggravated assault, diagnosed with conduct disorder at the age of 13. We have another one. Here it is again. Same thing. What is the most accurate diagnosis? Antisocial personality disorder. He's 19 and he was diagnosed with a conduct disorder at the age of 13. He's diagnosed before the age of 15 with a conduct disorder, meaning that when he turns 19 years old, they're going to slap that ASPD right on him, right? They put borderline personality disorder in here. If you are choosing borderline personality disorder, it better include something about regulation of emotions. It needs to be included in that vignette. Intermittent explosive, it better have something about severe aggression. It better have something about physical aggression before you choose that response. Alrighty, so let's take a look at this one. Diego began skipping school at the age of 10, suspended for fighting vandalism by the age of 11. At 12, he was arrested for setting a fire. His parents describe him as emotionally cold, secretive, and violent towards his younger sibling. He shows no remorse and has a long history of lying, stealing, and defying authority. I like how they throw in the defying authority to make you think that it's, oppositional defiant disorder. But just like I said, do not stray the course. Stay on the course, because if it is including something about history of lying and stealing, it is not going to be oppositional defiant disorder. Kids that are diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder do not lie. They do not steal. They do not show violence towards anybody else. They do not show cruelty to animals. They do not show cruelty to other people. So it will automatically not be oppositional defiant disorder. I will say it again. Oppositional defiant disorder, mild compared to any of the other behavior disorders in the DSM-5. So which diagnosis is being presented here? It can't be antisocial personality disorder, because how old is this kid? Diego is only 10. We diagnose antisocial personality disorder at what age? We are aware at what age we diagnose antisocial personality disorder. Again, they put disruptive mood dysregulation disorder. If you are choosing a response that says disruption dysregulation disorder, it better have something in that vignette about angry outbursts and an irritable mood most of the day. This answer is A, conduct disorder. Stay the course. Do not stray the course. Do not be strayed by little things like this, defying authority, when you are well aware that what is strongly presented here is conduct disorder. Hope everybody can get the gist of this. I will do like a recap, but let's do a little 4 minutes to chat with me really quickly. How are we feeling about these two diagnoses? Please leave a comment. Let me know if I make sense. Let me know if I was able to present this to you in a way that you are able to understand it. It's best to be able to recognize these two types, and I put them again at the bottom. Childhood onset type, at least one symptom of conduct disorder occurs before the age of 10. Adolescent onset type, there are no symptoms before the age of 10. That has to occur before you can say it's adolescent onset type, right? These answers are answered the exact same way. Stay the course. Do not stray the course. It took me a while to get like a pattern going when it came to these questions, but after a while I had to be like, okay, I get it. I see what they're trying to do here with these questions. Eventually you will do the same thing. If you missed the group this morning, we also talked about bulimia nervosa and anorexia nervosa in the group. I will do a video on that to teach you how to spot the differences between those symptoms and behaviors inside of vignettes as well. Bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 was also discussed this morning about having to understand the difference between those two specific disorders. I will also be posting a video about that just in case you did miss the group this morning. I appreciate once again each and every one of you. The group this morning was amazing. It was very awesome. I am so glad that everybody was able to benefit from it. I'm hoping, because I know a lot of people said they're like, I'm so glad that you're doing this, and had a better understanding of it. So I am hoping that I was able to have everyone have clarity, have understanding of these disorders and everything that we went through this morning. So again, when it comes to these questions, ASPD and CD, stay the course. The age matters. the age really is going to make a difference in how you are going to find the best response for those questions. Leave a comment if you want to. Let me know how you feel about these two disorders. If you have a question that you feel like you were struggling with and you couldn't understand it, send it to me and let's talk to it together. I will see you all later.